Okay, so I know a lot of people have wondered about putting wider wheels and tires on a Gbody. So this is my 1984 Buick Regal, and I'm going to show everybody what size, what clearances and everything I have. I'm running 275 40/17s all around with 8-inch wide wheels and 4.5 inches of backspacing. So I'm going to show everybody what this looks like, and hopefully this will give you some tips on what direction to head picking out your own wheels. So in the back here, I seem to have a little bit more clearance on the passenger side of the car than the driver's side of the car. So this this is still got a okay amount of clearance on this side. I'm not hitting the I'm not having a trouble with hitting this lip at all. Now I know the Regals have a little bit of a lip, I guess, on the fenders, so it could be that depending on which car you have, if you have a Cutlass or a Monte Carlo or a Grand Prix or something, you may have it may be different for you. But as far as on the Regal, I can if I stick my hand here flat up against the wheel, it doesn't come in contact. So, and as you can see, my tire size right here, 275 40/17s, and these wheels are set up for a late model F body, I guess, 93 to 02, and I'm using an 1.5-inch wheel adapters, 5x4.75 to 5x4.75, and I have a total of 4.5 inches of backspacing. I measured it with a ruler, laying the wheel down with a spacer, and I measured it with a ruler, so I know it's 4.5 inches of backspacing that I'm running. Now, in between the wheel and the frame, I can't quite get my finger in here, but there is a little bit of space. A little bit of light might show through, but it is pretty close. And up here in the top of the fender well, you can see just up there at the top, if I do bottom out on a bump or something, it will kind of rub just as the wheel is coming up and down, and the fender well right up there kind of curves over, it'll kind of rub. But I don't really have a trouble with it often. I am running a sway bar in this car. Whoops. I added that, it didn't come on here originally, and I put in some new springs that were the cargo coil type. With the original springs in this car, I mean, they were completely shot. I mean, the car would, bottom down. I would imagine that if I had been running the original springs, the wheels would probably rub up in the top of the fender well a lot more. New springs aren't that expensive. It's, less than $100 to get a new pair of springs. So, I mean, and it's not hard to replace. Literally, to replace the spring, all you gotta do is unbolt the shock on that side, on the side of the car you're trying to do, and then jack up the body. The spring will literally just pop right out. So, super easy job. Definitely recommend replacing the springs, especially since they're coming on 30 years old. Now this side of the car, I actually have more clearance. So I actually got quite a bit. If I get under here, let's see if the exhaust doesn't block my view here. See it between the wheel and the frame rail. There you go. Like, I can put my hand up completely between the wheel and the frame. I don't have any trouble like fitting it in there at all. And in the top, it doesn't really seem to be rubbing. Ow, and get a look at my fender well. The lip isn't chewed up or anything. So this is from the previous owner. The previous owner had much bigger wheels and tires on here. I mean, they were taken off when I bought the car, so I have no idea, how a rotor drove with those on it. Now, the front, I would say these wheels and tires are a little bit too wide. I'm gonna try to go down a few sizes to maybe like 245s. It seems to be rubbing worse on the passenger side and the driver's side. But where it's rubbing is right in here. Although the front fender looks really wide, you see the, this whole area is solid. So you really, you can't make the tire, come out to here. And it is rubbing just a little bit. You can see a little bit of rubber on there, a little bit of paint worn off. But it's not bad. I mean, as long as I don't hit any bumps, going too fast, it doesn't rub. Turning the car is not really a problem. Let's see if I can get this light over here. You can see there isn't any paint worn off the front of the frame. However, in the back of the car, this is where it rubs. If I were to turn the wheel all the way, it rubs right on the back of the frame. You can see that spot up there where the paint is worn off. And that's, other than that, I don't really have any trouble with steering the car. Now, I did try on a set of 1.25" wheel adapters instead of 1.5". So give me, I guess, what is that? 4.25 inches back spacing. I know. 4 points. Anyway, whatever. Quarter inch less of back spacing. Quarter inch more back spacing. Yeah, then it seemed to kind of rub on both corners when I did that. Now, if you're gonna put on like smaller diameter wheels, say like if you're gonna try to put on 14s or 15s that are wide, this is likely where you'll run into your problem. Now, if you see how close the tie rod end is to the wheel here, I mean, I'm moving my finger back and forth here. There's not a lot of clearance. Now, due to the fact that my wheel is a little bit bigger, the edge of the wheel is out here instead of in here, and it's not rubbing on it. But say if I were to run a wheel that's maybe a 16-inch and maybe 8.5 inches wide, push it, in and closer to that, you're going to be rubbing on this tie rod end right there. And another place you might be rubbing, if you were to do that, is up here on the upper control arm. Although I seem to have a good bit of clearance, but I would think if you're going to be running like 14s, you might be hitting on that. But other than that, I don't think that's as much of a problem as this front tie rod end. Now, if you're going to be running like 18s or something, yeah, you're not gonna have any problem hitting that. And if I go out here to the other side of the car, this is the one it hits the most on. Let's see if I can get a good view. It's this screw up in here, right in the inside of the fender. You can see the paint's kind of worn off of it. Sorry, I can't get a light over here, but it hits on that quite often if I hit a bump or something. That's going to be the whole reason I'll be putting on smaller tires in the front, because it's really annoying. I don't know if you can see back in here. It's the same situation with the paint kind of worn off on the inside of the frame rail there. Let's see. I can get a light in here. I don't know if I can get a light in there. Paint's worn off just right there. And the fender well, the plastic bit, the inner fender well, does have a slight tear in it right there. I guess from the edge of the tire as well. But anyway, hopefully this gives y'all an idea, and good luck working on your own cars.